Hi everybody, and welcome back to ESO Live, our bi-weekly official ESO show on Twitch. I'm Jessica.
Hi, I'm Gina.
And we are your ESO community managers. So we have a good show lined up for you today. Let's take a quick look at the schedule. So welcome back. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, thank you for joining us.
Great to be back.
Yep.
With a capital B.
And we're going to go over the official news. And then after that,
I thought you were going to keep going.
I can keep going.
After that, we're going to be doing a slow, medium speed walking tour of Bloodroot Forge. It's one of our new 4-player dungeons coming with the Horns of the Reach. I don't know why every single show I have issues with that word. Horns of the Reach. It's coming in August, but we're giving you a peek at it today with our dungeon lead, Mike Finnegan, yet again on the show. Just can't get rid of him. And senior writer, Randy Beagle.
And as always, giveaways throughout the show. So we're going to kick things off with the latest news and updates. First off, we kicked off the Mid-Year Mayhem event that is going on through July 31st.
At 10 a.m.
Yep, at 10 a.m. We know that there have been some issues, so we wanted to give you updates on those. We've opened 2 new 7-day standard campaigns to help alleviate all of the folks flocking to Cyrodiil. So those are open to levels 10 all the way through the highest champion point rank. The names are Xarxes and Kastav.
Xarxes opened yesterday, and then Kastav actually just opened this morning, a few hours ago.
On all servers. So if you're in a long queue, try to check those 2 campaigns. They may have room. Next up, we have a fix for the Pelinevent of the Scourge achievement. Had to look at my notes for that one.
We had a long discussion on how exactly do you pronounce that?
That is the achievement where you need to win 1 battleground. Currently, it is not working, which is blocking the ability to get the special Laurel Crown. That will be fixed next week during the maintenance periods on Monday for PC and on Wednesday for Xbox and PlayStation 4. And then lastly, we know some of you have been asking about granting free home and guest campaign assignments. We will also be doing that on Monday for PC, Mac, and on Wednesday for Xbox and PlayStation 4.
So something else we've been seeing people mentioning is deathmatch, one of the battleground game types. Few of you have been saying it doesn't seem like you're getting deathmatch as much as the other game types, specifically on PC and Mac. And we kind of went back, looked through some of our data and numbers, and we are seeing that there is an issue with that since around July 10th, when that patch rolled out. So we are actively looking into it and working out a fix for it, and we will definitely give you an update as soon as we can.
Yep. And lastly, as far as issues, the ESO Plus bonus event, on Monday we rolled out the Crown Crates, the Crown Crate rewards for that. Some of you didn't get all of your Crown Crates, or you didn't get any of them. So next week, also during the Monday and Wednesday maintenance period, Monday for PC Mac, Wednesday for consoles, we will be sending out those missing Crown Crates to anybody who didn't get them.
We see Lulu Lovely, she was asking in chat if the battleground queues are working yet. We have implemented a whole bunch of fixes in the past few PC incremental patches, and then the last console incremental patch that had a lot of fixes for battleground queuing and also just the grouping tool in general. So that's been working a lot better now. Encourage you to give it a try if you haven't in a little bit and see how it's working for you. All right, so next Monday we have an incremental patch on PTS and also on PC and Mac. The PC Mac patch is pretty small. It's got some fairly significant changes coming to Halls of Fabrication trial, which I'm sure Mike would be happy to talk about when we get the camera on his pretty face.
Put your shirt on, Mike.
Put your shirt on.
I'm not on camera yet.
And then the PTS patch, that'll also be happening shortly after the PC patch wraps up. So that has additional fixes for, there's a lot of housing furnishings for the 2 new dungeons. There was an issue with the templates where the skills weren't leveling up all the way to 50, so that's going to be fixed. I believe we are also doing a European character copy, so that stamp will be coming, I think, Sunday night or Monday morning, so be on the lookout for that. And of course, the patch notes will be posted sometime during maintenance, so keep an eye out.
And last but not least, for the Crown store, this week we have the Ragata, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, Crown motif in the store up until Monday morning. So if that's something you'd like to pick it up before Monday. So that wraps up our news.
Indeed it does. Romakin, YT, he's asking if he will receive the Battlegrounds achievement that we were just talking about a few minutes ago, or if he has to win a game again. You will have to win one more Battleground game. It is not going to be a retroactive fix.
Yep.
So just to be clear. All right, so we are going to dive right into Bloodroot Forge. This is our new 4-player dungeon, coming with Horns of the Reach DLC game pack in August. So we have Mike Finnegan on the show, 3rd time in a row. He's our dungeon lead. And then Randy Beagle, he's our first timer on ESO Live. He is one of our senior writers.
His name sounds like an English pub.
Sort of.
I get that a lot.
Welcome to the Randy Beagle.
Hi, Twitch.
Oh, that's great.
So everyone kind of knows what you do at this point, Mike. But Randy, do you want to talk and let everyone know sort of what your main responsibilities have been for ESO and what you focus on?
So I'm a writer, and I mostly focus on sort of story development, dialogue, writing fiction, make sure all the player-facing text is good and exciting, hopefully. I've been working with dungeons since end of the Shadows of the Hist, and so...
Did he write all of this?
He did all of it.
All of this.
I did, in fact. So the last big thing I worked on with Dungeon Team was Halls of Fabrication, so that was a lot of fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
So do you mainly focus on dungeons, or do you...
A little bit of everything.
Do Overland Quest also?
Yeah.
Nice.
No, I've worked on, since came in after Rothgar, so I've worked on Thieves Guild and Dark Brotherhood and Jester's Event, some other things like that.
Right
So
on.
if you're just clicking through dialogue in dungeons because you want to get to the next boss,
You have
think
ruined
of this
his life.
guy.
You make a
I'm
Randy cry.
immune to pain. Space bar. Embrace it.
So we're going to be going through Bloodroot Forge. We are on an internal server again, so Mike might cheat a little bit.
Might.
He
Definitely.
will cheat a lot. So you want to hop in
Yeah,
and get
let's get
started?
started.
This is the very entrance to Bloodroot Forge. The entrance is
Where's
from
it on the
Craglorn on the map.
And this is on PTS now, so you can certainly test it yourself.
The entrance is right down here in southern Craglorn. If you remember, Falkreath was right here, and this is Bloodroot Forge. We have seen some questions online about why are Reachmen here, and this is southern Craglorn. It doesn't necessarily border Skyrim or something like that. And this is Horns of the Reach, so is this part of the Reach or not? So it's really close to the Reach, and the story behind this is an ancient forge, and they kind of uncovered the location of it. So they're coming down here to make these weapons that are going to be their ultimate power and stuff. So
Get their bad guy cave.
get their bad guy on. So yeah, and this is the it conveniently has all the evil lair tropes like thrown into it. So it had a lava and all kinds, lava and trees and shit. I believe is what Gina said.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate that.
So
in the description, like when we talk about it on the website or in any official places, it's always these big vegetation and trees,
Big
and
vegetation.
lava filled whatever. I'm not a writer, man. What is it, Randy? And yeah, it's always lava filled corridors. And I was just double checking with Mike. I'm like, oh, we're doing the dungeon with the trees and lava and shit, right? So that's
exactly right.
That's what it is.
So here it is. Randy can give you a little bit of history behind the story. I'll just click on this guy, but I won't go through all the dialogue.
So we wanted the Reachmen and the Minotaurs. They're sort of barbaric and brutal characters, so we wanted to give them sort of a layer that was fitting of that, and they're not really builders per se. So sort of rediscovering an ancient primordial ruin with a living forge sounded really metal, and that was really kind of what we were going for.
Yeah. And then the visual is kind of all, I like the metal angle, and the visual is kind of all...
It's called Horns of the Reach.
It's called Horns of the Reach, exactly right. We were going to get like AC/DC, but we can't, so that wasn't going to be a thing.
You just want to show off your AC/DC
Yeah, right.
voices.
I was cow in the Horns of the Reach. So these are some of the new
Mike
enemies
will not
here.
be on next week's show.
So these are the. We also wanted to sell that these guys are kind of taken over by the Forge. So they have a unique kind of visual skin appearance here. These are some. Another element that we wanted to play up. I talked about it a little bit with last week with Falkreath, is the difference, or the stories are tangential and they're connected, but they don't rely on each other. There's not a part 1 and a part 2, so to speak. So you could do either one of these out of order, but the story still makes sense together. So this is the Forge that's powered up by taking these prisoners from the Ural Mountains, and Falkreath is you're stopping a raid in the Ural Mountains.
Can you show off that NPC? Chat was asking for a better look.
Oh.
Keeps walking
He
away.
keeps walking away. You know what?
Yeah.
Let me go to one of the guys that isn't going to walk away all the time. Here we go.
Oh, that's cool.
Isn't that-
And a lava skin?
Yeah.
There are benefits to cutting out your heart and putting bloody
there-
stuff.
yes.
One.
So
Fashion
they did
statement.
the Bloodroot Forge challenge. I don't know if you've seen it on YouTube. You have to shove a lava rock into your chest. It's tough. It's tough. Not many people do it. So
Oh, before we forget, we
there's a
need to.
disclaimer. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. But we talked about, what was the name of the house? The player house?
Falkreath
Manor?
Yeah, I think it's Falkreath Manor.
Last ESL Live show, we showed the manor that you can unlock, and we had mentioned that you just need to do Falkreath Hold. That was wrong. You need to do both Falkreath Hold and Bloodroot Forge Veteran Mode in order to unlock the ability to buy that home for gold. So we just wanted to make that correction. We'll have that correction in our articles and patch notes, but just for
I
anybody
didn't
who
put that in the patches.
for anybody who heard that last week.
And you can
make that correction.
still purchase it with crowns if you'd
Yep.
like without the achievement, but if you want to buy it for gold, like Jess said, you have to complete those 2 achievements on veteran.
So another cool aspect, as design, a lot of just cool things are made by our art team and stuff. So when we saw the Wild Hunt mounts, we thought, oh, that would be really cool to use as monsters. So we decided, as part of like a basis for the entrance here, we were going to have that kind of primal nature aspect and bring the Wild Hunt animals in here. So originally, all of these were green. They just used the kind of the effects that the Wild Hunt monsters had. All the stuff around these plants was green as well. Well, after looking at it, and Art said, well, let's differentiate these a little bit, and let's, kind of color shift them to red. It kind of implies with the Nirncrux and the Heartstones and the molten Nirncrux and everything. So we did that, but that forced our world builder fairly late, Mike Marscon, our world builder, fairly late in the process to go back through all of this stuff and to make these aspects red and stuff like that.
It looks cool. I bet you that
but it
looks
ended
cool
up
at
looking
night,
really
huh?
cool. Yeah, it does. It's almost like that was a segue.
It's so natural.
Boom!
Is this an E3 presentation?
So I'm just going to kill this guy so that his door after him opens. So that's the first boss in the dungeon.
A few
He's
people
a-
are asking about the skin. From this dungeon, you get, is it the
You
skin
get
or
the
the
hat.
hat?
You get the hat. You get the horn Kleptu.
Forget the exact name.
Keptu horn salet, I think.
It's
is
the one we
what
see
you're
with all the
getting here.
antlers.
Right.
Yeah. Now I did see some. There was comments about the skin in here, and you see the skin on these guys and the skin in. So I talked about it a little bit
The last show.
last show
Yeah.
about how we wanted to show both rewards. So
Right.
part of this was like skins may have been developed, but when we decided that we wanted to show both rewards, we kind of did some horse trading a little bit, I guess, with the different teams to say, okay, which skin are we going to give away and which helmet are we going to give away, so that we could show both of those. So that's why we didn't give specifically. We didn't give 2 skins away so that you could show
Because
that
you can't
did-
wear 'em both at
right,
the same
can't wear 'em
time,
both
yeah.
at the same time. So another thing is we had a color shift on these Spriggans. So they had a unique red look. There was always the autumn Spriggan, but it didn't quite sell enough red, so we had we did a color shift on those. Another thing that we did here with Stranglers. So if people have played this dungeon, they noticed the Stranglers early on. Stranglers don't really have a way to move, and they have no way to do like locomotion. So that was a design challenge that we had to try and develop a way for them to kind of follow you through the dungeon and make them actually a moving part of it. So we developed a whole new locomotion where they kind of burrow in the ground, and then their roots travel to where they're going to go, and then they kind of reemerge. Those are Strangler plants.
Yep.
Yep.
I remember fighting those at some of the lower level zones.
Yep. And these ones are pumped up a little bit. These are a little bit more difficult. They put a dot on you that we say you poop out poisons because it's like you drop these because we're classy yeah. So you drop like little poison circles. So the goal is for you to run around and poison all your friends.
That sounds fun. This is like the ultimate troll dungeon, you guys.
Yeah, we have a lot of
We haven't
trolling in
even
this
gotten to the
dungeon.
best part.
There's no trolls in here.
Gonna really
Yeah, so
troll
this
your
is the
friends.
Hag Raven. The Hag Ravens are pretty much a staple of Reachmen and Reach clans. She's the only one that made it. The rest of them died along the way.
I mean, she's looking pretty rough herself.
No,
Well,
I
even
know,
worse
yeah.
now.
Look at that. She does a spin. She's in awe. Look at how
I
shocked
can't
she
believe
is.
you
Look
cheated.
at how shocked she is. All right. So this is the actual entrance to the forge proper, and as you walk in here, you'll see. Oh, there's a.
What was the significance of the snakes?
What snakes?
Oh,
Those are just critters.
On the door.
Nedic
on
ruins.
the doors.
Oh, cool.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. They're Nedic design. So the implication is that perhaps this forge was Nedic in nature, but it's a mystery as to actually where it came from.
Yeah.
You'll see quite a few of the captives in here mining away and toiling away to try to get this Nernkarx to forge the weapons that the Reachmen use. And also, this looks like lava, but it's not.
Oh, it's not.
It's
What
not.
is it?
What is it?
Is
It's
it
not
magma?
lava. It's molten Nernkrux.
Molten Nernkrux.
Molten Nernkrux, right. You're like, you may think, this
So
looks
does
like
it
lava.
do something different?
It does something different.
Ah.
See, this poor soul over here, this is what happens when you get hit by molten Nernkrux. You actually go in there and then you turn into, it encases your body and you die.
So you
horribly.
you don't just burn.
You don't burn. You don't just burn, right. You
Become infused with Nernkrux.
Right.
You become one.
You become one with the Nernkrux. I am one with the Nernkrux, and the Nernkrux is one with me. This is we often talk about it, and I know we harp on it about telegraphing boss mechanics and stuff early on. But this was another element where we did exactly that. You'll see it. Oops! I just got hit by a cave.
As
So
designed.
these things right here will pop up. And they're just kind of hanging out in the molten Nernkrux, and you can use them to jump across to get to the next section. But if you stay on them long enough, they disappear. So the goal is, and if there you go, that's what happens when it happens. So
Don't tempt fate.
Yeah. So if the more people that are on it from your group, the faster it collapses away. So again, trolling players. You can stand on one and then they have to jump and then eventually it'll go away and stuff. Another aspect too that we wanted to sell is these things are dropping down, but then even when it's not in the lava, they're dropping on elements. You saw me get stunned by it a little bit earlier. That's to kind of sell the overarching idea that this is an unstable location. It's
You have to
not.
kind of watch your head.
Yeah, you kind of watch where you're going.
You can hear the forge hammer pounding
Yep.
throughout the dungeon. It sounds really cool.
Yep.
Bill, our audio designer, did
Yep.
some really cool stuff with that.
You get out, get it, go. It also snares you for added FU. This was a contentious design when we first developed it and
Why is
kind of
that?
put it in. So platforming is not something that we technically,
Oh,
we
like
really
hopping from
want to do.
stone to
Yeah,
stone.
hopping from stone
Yeah,
to stone
yeah.
is, it can be done well and it can be done not so well. So it has to be somewhat forgiving, but then also mean something. So it was
Well, it
just a
has-
delicate balancing act. Shane Slammer, which are the designer who kind of put all of this stuff
Mm-hmm.
in up to the next boss fight, we did really go back and forth to make sure that with the lead content designer and creative director to make sure that it was impactful but not overly punishing and stuff
Well, and it's
like
cool that you have that added effect of, okay, you can't just hang out on it.
Right, you can't just hang out on it, and that was part of the concession of like let's make it mean something but not be too crazy. Also, these
I mean, if I was in charge, I was already telling you, like, just make it instant death.
that's
if you
what
touch it.
Jada told me earlier. She's like, why doesn't the lava just instantly kill you?
I mean,
was
if
like,
you
'cause
touch
that's
lava,
terrible.
You can't even get within 30
No
feet of it.
mistakes.
You know, the last time I touched lava in real life on my sorcerer, I burst into flames. this is an Earth Gorer. So a lot of what we try to do with these Minotaurs is these Minotaurs will have some of the same abilities that you've seen in Minotaurs before, but they also have unique abilities, and they telegraph stuff you'll probably see later on. The Earth Gorer, he does this thing which affectionately we called Hole Punch early on.
What?
But no, now I forgot what did we end up renaming the volcano? That
Oh,
he
now
puts
you
in?
put me on the spot.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah. Anyways, he hits the ground and it forms this mini volcano that fires off stuff. This is another part that design-wise we try to get engagement from all the different roles that are going to be in here. So that when he does that, it fires out like little lava balls that hit every member of the group unless somebody stands on top of it. But it hits really, really hard. So the goal is, and we also put a blockable telegraph on it, so the goal is for a tank to pay attention so that when the volcano starts going off,
Hop
the
on
tank
top of
stands
it.
on top of it to plug the hole, essentially.
Unless you think your team can heal through it.
Yeah, or
Could you
shield through
show? Could you show off some of the abilities?
it. I can. You got it, buddy. Come on.
I believe it's called Crack the Earth now, but I can't remember
You could do it.
precisely.
You could do
Hole
it.
punch.
You could do
Yeah,
it. There it
Hole
comes.
Punch was it.
There it comes.
There was another one called Axe the Island
There it is.
that got renamed.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, it's a little fire spout.
Yep. So the goal is to stand on top of it.
Now you're gonna cheat.
Yeah. No. Bye bye. Oh, I almost got hit
more
by the
falling
ceiling.
rocks.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is how you do Maelstrom Arena, right?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. So we go through here and we kind of show off some of these things. There's little vignettes of the captives, and as you progress through, you're kind of saving them. It's kind of in like an ancillary task that you're getting. Another aspect here with these shocks will put a little fireball that follows you around. And this is to try and tell you that the mechanic is the fireball is firing you. You see it can't reach those guys in the center. So as the fireball is firing you, maybe if you jump on one of these platforms, as the fireball hits the ground, it'll dissipate. Or it hits the lava, it'll dissipate. See, it goes boop, and it goes away. That's trying to tell you that that's the proper way to do it. We see most people just eat that fireball.
Oh.
You know.
Yeah, they're not listening to the dialogue that tells you
Do you
anything
sit
about
there
the
while watching
mechanics.
streams going, no?
Yeah. Oh, and what's funny is we'll sit there, we'll watch these screams, and then we'll see people yell, and they go, "Oh, this fire just hit me so hard. I don't know what's going on." And we're like, "Yeah,
They'll figure it out."
You're right. We hope. I mean, that's the goal, is to say,
They'll figure it out.
Figure it out.
So how hard is in general difficulty? I know you said that the last dungeon we looked at, Falkreath Hold, was kind of on par with, which one was it?
It's more on par with the Imperial City DLCs
Yeah.
rather than Shadows
Same
of the
with this
Hiss.
one?
Yes, the same with this one. This one
Is one harder than the other out of the two Horns of the Reach dungeons?
I
would
would
you say they're about the same?
probably say that this one
Yeah.
would tend to be on more difficult side.
Seems to be a lot more.
Galtrabar, which is the Minotaur in the center, Lava Island, and then the Earthcore Amalgam, especially after you see the next BTS notes and the changes we made to the hard mode.
Uh-oh.
But so those two bosses are going to be kind of like the real challenge points for this.
It
dungeon.
does seem like this one has a lot more environmental
Yep.
traps and such.
Yep. And this is, I did want to call this out. This is again a highlight of the world building that Mike Marcicano did. So if you notice this, we really have this like really cool verticality to this, where you see these long shapes and they're pointed and stuff like that. Mars, very early on in the process, developed this by taking essentially the Cragworn Mountains and inverting them, and then put them in like
wow.
this, so that
Are
you
they-
can
they're
see.
smaller though, yeah?
Yeah, they're a little bit smaller, and so resizing them and stuff like that. But then it really had this great silhouette and this great visual for as you go through the dungeon of these peaks and valleys.
Yeah,
and
that is a
stuff.
cool space.
Yeah. I don't
Someone
know.
was asking what sorts of rewards you get from the dungeon, like in terms of item sets.
I can go over. So my character right here is wearing the medium armor set, which I think looks really, really cool. Let me see if I can get it in light. Yeah, it's a really cool medium armor set. If you see it, this is the this is the armor set that allows you to it increases all the bleed damage you do by 20%. So if you're a class that specializes in bleeds and stuff like that, then this one can really, really pump up the damage a little bit. But some of the other set, there's a heavy and a light for every single one of them.
Right.
I think the monster helm in here, I think I have it.
We also have all of these listed in the PTS patch notes.
Yep. Yeah, this is the monster helm in here. When you heal a friendly target under 50% health, and you conjure a pool of quenching blood that it's like a negate pool. And also heals a friendly or heals targets in the area, friends in the area for 3k or 30,000 over 3 seconds. So pretty decent, pretty nice.
Cool.
Mad and nice. This guy's like, I got you. Nope. All right, so this is another boss. It's coming down. This is another thing that this is a boss telegraphing another boss. So as you go here, you notice that he has these little stone atronach friends that are around the area. Well, as you're fighting him, he kind of activates them, and they come to life, and then they add to the fight. And you may see that in the Galchabar fight.
People are like, why doesn't he actually fight them?
Why don't I actually fight
It's a
them?
4-player dungeon. Mike
I mean,
is by
I
himself.
could, yeah, it's just like, and the entire ESO was me fighting like 2 packs. So, it's like, and plus we want to show off the cool aspect. Like this in particular, that's just a really great like visual as you kind of approach that. And then you run it down here, and then this is where early on where you see one of the shaman. The shaman in particular have a really nasty ability. In normal, they have this thing where they'll pull a chain into the ground, and they'll pull one random person down into the ground, and then an AoE starts to grow underneath them. Well, somebody needs to interrupt that chain pull, and then the person who is being pulled down needs to get out of the AoE, otherwise it's going to put a really high damage dot. In a veteran, he pulls 2 people down.
Ooh, out of
Again,
the 4,
somebody
gosh, half your group.
yeah, until and it still has to be interrupted by somebody else. So it's one of those things that is a really cool element, and it keeps people kind of engaged in what we would call the base pop, and it also telegraphs something that you'll see in the 5th boss. There's technically 5 bosses in this dungeon, or 6 bosses in this dungeon.
Okay.
We've seen 3. So this is a little vignette of the captives, which you've kind of broken away, and they're fighting the Reachmen now. And like, we're not going to be suckers. We're going to fight our way
Inspired
out.
them to fight back, take up their arms.
Or that.
Yeah.
Inspired them to fight back. And this is where Galchabar. This is
This is where it all goes wrong.
this is where it all goes wrong. They decide that Galchabar can't live, so
They've got him cornered.
They got him cornered. He's on an island in the middle of lava. What's the worst that could happen?
How did he even get out there?
I know.
Hey, you don't even know.
Oh.
It's utterly ridiculous.
As we said earlier, Mike will not be on next time.
What a load of bull.
Oh, ooh, fiction guy kicking in the dad jokes. All right, so this was again Shane. One of the cool aspects, and I'll show you this in a second, is this fight is, as designers, it's really cool to develop these kind of things, and it's really, we have an idea of how some of these things play out in our mind, or maybe we just have an idea of saying, oh, I don't want to encourage this behavior. So in normal, when you're fighting this guy, he'll throw his weapon into the middle of the arena and it'll explode the entire middle island. So the goal is to jump to these outside things when that happens, and then jump back. What we noticed, though, when we first started doing veteran, because it was the exact same way, is people would just take a step into the lava, let it explode, and then walk back on. So that it negated the entire jump onto the platform.
Yeah.
So in veteran, we wanted to really, really encourage you to do that. So what happens is he throws his weapon into the middle of the arena and explodes, and then there's a ring of fire that hangs out for a couple seconds. So you can't just walk off and then walk back on. You have to jump on the platform, wait for the fire to dissipate. Well, that is pretty much against human nature. Most people are going to like jump off and then try to jump back on. And as we watch streams, it is rather funny, because I believe it was Shane that said, I like this mechanic because you screwed up before you die. Because you jump off the platform and then you start to jump back and you're like, oh, and then you die instantly. And so instantly you screwed up. And it was funny because it happened in testing, and it again happens on stream and stuff like that.
You learn pretty quick, though.
Yeah, you do learn pretty quick. You learn by death. And there is a big ring of fire there, so it's not like
It's not
and it's not like we didn't tell you it wasn't there. So this is, again, you see the kind of hole punch on the ground. All that fiction work, Randy.
Yeah, I know.
And it's hole punch.
Hard mode is 3-hole punch.
3-hole punch, yeah. Oh, there goes more hole punch. Yeah, so he's gonna do his. There it goes. So this
At least
is where
it tells
you would.
you he's
yeah,
preparing to
but
throw
see
it.
right here, he's gonna throw it, and then that ring of fire stays there. So normally people are like, ah, and then they hit it and they die.
But you have death hacks on. That's
Yeah, I
why
do
you
have
did
death
it.
hacks. I'm just that good. I got the achievement.
So which number boss was that?
That was 4.
4 of
So there's
6.
still 2 more.
Yeah, there's still 2
Wow.
more. Now this last section is fairly short. I think
Don't
there's,
stand in the red.
yeah, there
Yeah.
was a
Don't stand in stupid,
don't
like
stand
Shiver
in
says.
stupid, right. So this is the last section of it, and this is where you actually come across the actual Bloodroot Forge. There's one small pull here before you see Garrick Bullblood, who's the guy that you've been kind of hearing about as like the leader of the Reachmen. They're doing some dark ritual.
Of course they are.
Bloodthirsty sacrifices.
They're yes, that's what he said. So you come down here and you actually see the Bloodroot Forge. Now I've heard some people say, I don't get how this is a forge. How does it work? Because it's just like some hammers and some stuff going. And we say it's a magical forge.
Of course it
It
is.
just
A
does
wizard
it.
did it.
It just a wizard did it. It's fueled by blood.
in doubt.
When's
It
the
does look
last
magical.
forge you saw fueled by blood actually work? So this is actually kind of like where the stuff emerges for the forge. This is another aspect that was really cool. So most of the time we've used synergies in our fights as like a defensive thing. You have to pop this synergy in order to be better and stuff like this. This, we actually use these synergies offensively after you get past this. I'll just kill these guys real quick. Oh, sorry you're dead. Oh, sorry you're dead. So you see as they die, their like essence gets shot into the blood gets shot into the forge, and it's forming this earth gore amalgam, which is the forge's final defender.
Is that the sound he makes?
So yeah, that's
Did you do the sound effects for him?
No. I may have started to, and then they were like,
They
aren't
just
gonna
said no.
Use that. So,
Sound team said no.
So this is where I talk about the using the synergies as an offensive mechanic or as an active mechanic. So you use this synergy and you place it, and it drops a rain of blood, and that's perhaps useful in this to quench some fires, perhaps.
Hint, hint.
Perhaps.
Mike, I know this was so 5 minutes ago. I saw a question earlier from chat. They were asking with the last boss,
Yeah.
if you stand on the rocks, like what prevents you from just standing there forever? And those are the same ones that kind of just disintegrate.
Oh yeah, the
Lava,
exact
right?
same way. They disintegrate on Goucher Bar. The behavior is the exact same, and actually it's really funny because they disintegrate if more people are on it. So if you don't plan correctly and he starts to throw his weapon and 2 or 3 people jump on the rocks, they'll disappear before you're allowed to jump back on
So
the
you'd be
island.
like, "Get off my rock."
Yes, exactly right. So it's it is very
Not
much
grouping with you.
it rewards planning as far as that's concerned. So this is the final boss of the dungeon. He has some mechanics that. He's simple. This is a boss that I like to say that he doesn't have a tremendous amount of complex mechanics. They build up and out over time. So if you see, he'll do this ability, and it'll put this growing pool of lava, which will also shoot little projectiles.
Probably
If
don't
you're
want to
close.
stand in that.
Hey, you don't want to stand in that, and he'll keep doing that.
Oh.
And then he'll add
So
more.
those don't go away,
No,
yeah?
those don't go away. He'll add more. This blockable is a tank blockable. If you're not a tank, you will die to it, especially in veteran. Even if you block it. This is another one. So you see he starts stomping on the ground, the ceiling starts collapsing. You have to run away from it. This is kind of where the synergies come in. If you use this fire synergy over here when he's doing that, it kind of stuns him out of it so that he stops doing the collapsing. If you use the blood synergy over here, it'll quench these like pools of fire. But so I say these are simple because he's doing these kind of things over and over again. But then at different health thresholds, he'll spawn more. Like another little guy will come out, and that guy's doing
Little
the
versions of him?
Little versions of him will spawn. So that's another guy doing the exact same ability. So you can see that the
Including
room
the
will
lava
start
pools.
to, including the
Yeah.
lava pool, including this ability, so it's just, and then after another threshold, another one will spawn.
So if you don't move him around the room
if you
properly,
if you're not on the ball, I consider this a pretty decent tanking challenge. I've tanked this, and it's maintaining aggro on 3 bosses when you're trying to run around and avoid things and stuff like that. It's a pretty decent tanking challenge.
And go around the edge of the room, so it doesn't
because
all
if
fill
any
up.
of these, if any of these blockables hit a non-tank,
Goodbye.
You're gonna have a bad time.
You're gonna have a bad time.
How much health does he have? A lot. Exactly
he has
a lot.
ton of it, like 8
8
million or something
yeah.
like that.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's got a lot. I think he's the most we've ever had on a dungeon.
Oh wow. And
Is
more
that the
falling
same
rocks.
for normal
Yeah.
and vet?
No, he has far less on normal. But I mean, he has the most that we've ever had, I think, on
Yeah,
a
yeah.
dungeon boss. So.
Yeah, and someone even said it's around 8-9 million
Yeah.
for hard mode.
Yep. And then we're going to tweak the hard mode in the next patch. So right now, if you were to activate hard mode,
He's still throwing
you
a temper
can
tantrum.
you cannot use the synergies if you activate hard mode.
Oh.
So that means that fortune favors us up. We're going to add some more wrinkles into this when you activate hard mode in the future.
Make it
so
harder.
That, oh yeah, we're going to make it a lot harder.
Good.
And here you go, the Reachman cruising in here.
Oh, these are the Nords.
These are are
Yeah,
the
they're-
Nordsmen, not the Breachmen. The Nords that are rescuing their people.
You killed everybody, Mike.
Like
Can
this
you
guy-
stand in that
Dev
thing
commands.
over there and get crushed?
No. This guy in particular has got some serious issues.
He's stuck.
He's stuck.
That is a female Argonian, Mike.
She's
Yeah.
stuck.
Can't you tell the difference?
She's stuck. I'm sorry. I forgot. And then this.
Oh my. I just. Okay.
Ah.
They're stuck. That's what you do when you're stuck.
This is as close as I'm ever going to get to the ESO Live dance party.
Closest we'll ever get to the ESO Live dance party. So that is the Bloodroot Forge.
Very cool. That looks like a fun dungeon. Hard.
Yeah, it is. It's fairly difficult mechanic-wise. We tried to throw a lot of interesting mechanics that are kind of like easy to learn, but then you just kind of have to.
There's a lot to
fight
pay
them.
attention
Yep,
to.
a lot to pay
Yeah.
attention to. Gouch Bar in particular also has fire shocks to come up, and they'll follow people around with the little fireball, so you'll want to constantly be
we
jumping
didn't see
off
those.
and
Yeah,
jumping
yeah.
back, and then he'll activate the Stone Astronauts, which will start to do their thing too. So yeah, there's a lot going on in those
Cool.
fights. So.
You know what we didn't do?
What?
A giveaway.
Oh, let's do our
We
giveaway.
should.
Yes.
What should the keyword be? Randy, you want to pick it? Should we make it really difficult?
Or
Harder than a Pellin event
Oh
or
my gosh,
whatever.
stop.
I just stop. You know what it's going to be? Randy.
Oh, all right.
There you go. That's what happens.
That's what happened.
So, keyword's going to be Randy for this week's giveaway. What should we? 3-hole punch, yeah.
Pretty good.
That's a good one too.
What should we give away? How about a T-shirt?
Yep.
We have a lot of Morrowind T-shirts, as long as you're a size large, extra large.
glorious.
Very
or less.
Randy chat.
Yes,
Look,
sir.
everyone loves you.
Oh.
See? Randy.
Should have been with an exclamation point.
It should have been. Damn it. Missed opportunity. So a winner will receive a T-shirt of your choosing, depending on what size you wear. Will depend on the T-shirt you get. So Horns of the Reach, coming out in August. We haven't announced an exact date yet, but we will be soon. Keep an eye on the website. Trying to stall here. What should we talk about? What are you doing this weekend?
It's gonna be hot.
It is. It's
How
going
hot
to be
is that,
miserable.
though?
It's going to be miserable. Isn't
I
Artscape this
think
weekend?
Bloodroot
Is hotter.
might be as hot as Baltimore. in the
Drop it
summer.
like it's hot. It
yeah.
might be. It might be.
At this point, yeah.
Isn't
Artscape is this weekend,
I think
yeah.
Artscape is this
But
weekend.
it's also going to be like
It's
100
Artscape
degrees.
weekend, so of course it's 1,000
course.
degrees in
It's
Baltimore.
like
so,
99% humidity.
Yeah,
All the
right.
art melts.
Yeah.
Becomes one big art.
Yes.
I love when the weather forecasters are like, the temperature is 85, feels like 120. And
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
Because
okay,
of the
so it's like
humidity.
120.
Yeah, yeah.
So
heat
everyone in
index.
chat is typing Randy because they want to win an ESO t-shirt. We'll give
In
it a
case
few more
anybody walked in and
seconds.
is like, what is going on?
Who's Randy?
Just a reminder to everybody, Horns of the Reach, including Bloodroot Forge, is on the PTS.
Yep.
So if you play on PC Mac, you're welcome to join us.
If
Try
you
out the
stream it,
dungeon.
let us know.
If you stream it,
You
they
can
will come.
Send a message. Let us know. We will go and watch it. My entire team kind of is anxious to watch streams on this stuff and see your guys' feedback on it. So
Especially after next week's changes, yeah.
yeah, especially if the hard mode.
Oh
changes.
yeah, did you want to discuss the changes that are going into PC Live?
Yeah, we have a couple changes
Halls?
in for Hall's
the Hoff?
fabrication.
I love
For
you
the
too.
We heard the feedback that the Dwemer grabby hands, as commonly referred to as fingers, is a little bit punishing and difficult to break out of. So we should have, I think, a bug fix that kind of should alleviate that CC breaking issue where it would pull you directly right back down. And then also we give you a little bit of leeway to get out of it before it instantly pulls you down too. And then
nice
we are
of you.
slowing down the ring of ruined fabricants that instantly spawn and then blow up. And in the quote-unquote execute phase, we reduce the health threshold that monsters would be at for them to spawn. So that means they don't spawn quite as often. So you have a little bit more time for them to burn down the bosses before they start spawning and encroaching on your space. So should alleviate some of the pressure that was on that we did when we removed the safe spots from Hall's fabrication.
And that
So,
happened the last patch, I think.
Yeah.
Is there like a running counter for the Randys?
There is. There is.
I want that
There's
number by
literally
the end of this.
hundreds
All
of
right.
Randys. Also, for the PTS patch coming on Monday, saw some people asking about balance changes. For this patch, it's mainly just some bug fixes affecting combat, and the team is still kind of talking through what additional balance changes they want to make. So if more of those are coming, it won't be next week, but probably the week after that. So, winner.
I'm
Ready?
Randy, and so is my wife.
We're all Randy.
All right.
But are you a Randy Beagle?
The winner of the t-shirt is Randy. No, it's JP_R69.
Congrats, JP.
Definitely.
Congratulations, JPR.
Congrats, JP.
We look, I'll send you this lock of my hair that just fell off of my
Whoa.
arm, and
Whoa.
an ESO t-shirt. Take it easy. There's plenty where that came from. So, I'll shoot JP a message.
I thought you were just going to shoot JP. I was like, dang.
Wow,
You know?
that
You
want a
escalated.
bullet. You want a bullet.
Escalated quickly. Also, the past two winners for ESO Live, we haven't sent out your things yet because we are still trying to get them signed from, Matt Fire and Rich and everybody. So we haven't forgotten. In case you're here,
They're coming.
Still have your stuff, and it is coming.
Somebody loves your beard.
Yeah, I saw that.
Love you and your beard.
Man. We created a monster.
wretched.
Randy's going to be on
I
next
know.
time.
I
Be on
mean,
the
is that
next
really
3
a
years, so
compliment to
last.
somebody called Stay Wretched?
I think so.
Same.
Still.
Anyway, well,
Well, thank you guys so much
Next
for joining us.
Yep, no problem.
It's really good to have you on.
and
We'll miss you next time.
Yeah, I'm sure.
next show
No
without
Shrek. No
without
Shrek.
Finnegan
It's
is
just Fiona next time.
August. Just Fiona, forever alone. August 4th at 3 p.m. is going to be our next show. It'll be on this channel, twitchtv.bethesda/Bethesda. It's Friday. We'll be going over some of the base game features that are coming in Update 15, including the customizable combat queues, maybe the new Battleground mode and game type, if we can get Brian Wheeler on here. So
I think we just signed him up.
we might have. So if you're watching, guess what?
Guess what, Brian?
Surprise.
And then share your thoughts with us on the show. We always enjoy hearing feedback. You can do that on Twitch, or excuse me, not on Twitch. Goodness, we're on Twitch. On Twitter or on the official forums. And if you have any fan creations, we love seeing those as well. You can either submit those on our Tumblr or tweet them at us at Tess Online, or also on our Instagram channel, Elder Scrolls Online.
We're also working on building out a little form for our website, so that way if you have some sort of fan creation, whether it's art or screenshots, video, what have you, you can just submit that on the forum and then it'll go straight to us. That way you don't have to sit around and be like, how do I submit this to them?
Did it get to them? Yeah. And of course, also, if you guys want to stick around for the Tess Online, Tess Legends live stream, Pete Hines will be back here at about 4:30. I'm not sure what time it is now, so we encourage you to hang out and
In about 40 minutes. He'll be starting 30
Catch
to 40
the show.
minutes. Yep. So good to see everybody.
Yep.
Good to see you, Jess.
good to see you too.
Signing off for now.
Bye, everybody. Have a
We'll
good
see you
weekend.
next time.